Am I the asshole for not letting my sister-in-law's family stay with me after she gives birth? Using a throwaway account. My brother and his wife are expecting their first child this summer. My sister-in-law is from a different country and her first trimester was not easy. And I know that she misses her family a lot. Her parents are planning to stay with them for a year when the baby is born, with a quick trip home in between so they don't overstay their visa. She was thrilled that they could do this. She recently asked if her sister and her sister's family, husband and 2 children under the age of 6, could also come with her parents and stay with me because they won't all fit at their house. But she wants them to stay for 6 months. I asked if maybe they could do 2 to 3 weeks or even a month, but she wasn't happy about that at all because she really wants her sister to be there to help her too. Am I the asshole for thinking that this is unreasonable and feeling imposed upon? Her family would not be able to drive and I live 30 minutes away from my brother. And I work, so I wouldn't be able to drive them to see her every day. And I definitely don't think my brother will have time to pick them up every day as well. Technically, I do have the space, but I like my quiet time, and having 4 people that I've never met stay with me for 6 months feels overwhelming. They don't speak English either, so it would also be a little awkward in the beginning, I think. The plan is to homeschool the older child while they're here. The younger one isn't school age yet. I don't fully understand the husband's job, but apparently he'll be able to do it remotely. That would also mean that he's on calls and video meetings in the middle of the night though. I understand that it's hard to have a baby so far from your family, and I really want to be supportive of my sister-in-law. I've been firm in my stance that a 6-month visit is way too long for me, but she's pretty upset with me and her and my brother haven't been speaking to me for a couple of weeks now. So I'm wondering if I'm just being cruel or selfish here. So the OP added an edit after, and this is what she said. 1. My brother and sister-in-law cannot afford a short-term rental, nor can her family. But beyond that, in her culture, it would be considered rude to put them in somewhere else if family can accommodate them. I believe they briefly looked at Airbnbs and short-term rentals, but in addition to the expense, her family's lack of permanent status for that long of a stay might have been a concern for some. Not sure of the exact details or convos, and maybe they just told me that to make it seem like they had no other option, but bottom line, they can't afford it. 2. Thank you to all who pointed out some of the potential legal issues with the husband working remotely here on a tourist visa, and the sticky situations that could come out of being here for so long. I had not considered that, and I really appreciate the advice. 3. If she were to go back to her home country with the baby instead of everyone coming here, my brother could only stay for a few weeks. And ironically, her family doesn't have room for them to stay with them. Okay, so here are my thoughts. If her sister-in-law can't provide the resources to house her own sister, she should definitely not be expecting them to stay 6 months. I feel like OP was already very reasonable to offer accommodation for up to a month, so OP has definitely proved that she does want to help her sister-in-law. I think it is totally to the discretion of OP to place her boundaries about people she barely even knows being able to stay in her house and her personal space. If she's uncomfortable with it, then that's just something her sister-in-law will just have to accept. The fact that she also even seems to be avoiding OP is just creating unnecessary family drama, to be honest. It's not OP's responsibility to house her family for 6 months because that's definitely a long and hard commitment, especially when it's 4 additional people coming to her house. TLDR, definitely not the asshole, and her sister-in-law needs to just get over it and adjust her expectations. Even having her family for a few weeks should be good enough. They get to meet the baby and all have fun together, and I think that should be good enough for now considering the circumstances of their situation. What do you guys think?